Alright there guys, welcome to part 2 of my entire Blu-ray collection video, and like I said in the first part guys, we're going to go rapid fire here, go through these movies as quick as possible. I might, talk a few seconds about some of them, but not too much here guys, so let's keep it going here guys, and let's dive into part 2 of my collection. Focus. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, a surprise comedy. Oh man, one of my all-time favorites, Forrest Gump. I don't know what else I can say, guys. This is by far one of the best classics of all time. I remember watching this movie with my family. We were still living in New Jersey at the time, and I never got dulled or bored at any time watching this movie, guys. It's just one of the all-time best movies. It stands up still to this day. I don't know what else can I say about this movie. I'll tell you, my favorite scene in this whole movie is when Forrest and Bubba meet Lieutenant Dan, and Lieutenant Dan looks at Bubba and says, "What's wrong with your lip?" "A bone with a big gump, sir." "Yeah, you better tuck that in. Might get that caught in the tripwire." That is one of the funniest scenes in the entire movie, or one of the funniest scenes for sure. Foxcatcher, Friends with Benefits, The Fugitive, one of the best thrillers of all time. I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. Fury, very good war movie. G.I. Joe Retaliation, Gangs of New York, Gangster Squad, Who You Gonna Call? Ghostbusters 1 and 2, one of the all-time classics. The Gift, The Girl Next Door. Oh, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Here's a film that really surprised me. This is a movie that went in the theater and didn't really make a lot of money. A lot of people didn't go see it, and they were planning on doing a sequel to this, but like I said, the movie didn't make a lot of money. But if you're very familiar with David Fincher's films, he did this movie here, and he did a fantastic job with this movie. I highly recommend you guys check this out. It's a really good movie. Father with dead son, husband with dead wife, and I'll have my bitches in this life and the next. Gladiator, another one of my all-time favorites. Glory, the terrible Godzilla movie from 1998. Why do I own this? Guys, when I went and saw it as a kid, I was really let down because it was my first Godzilla movie I was seeing in my generation. I went and saw it when I was 13, and there's not really much to say. It's a terrible movie. But by far the best Godzilla movie I've seen so far is the recent one here. It's not an epic movie, guys. There are a lot of people say it's great, it's epic. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's epic, but it's a fun movie. I had a good time watching it. People complain there's not enough Godzilla, but it doesn't bother me. It's a great movie. We call him Godzilla. GoldenEye. Gone Girl, another good David Fincher film. Good Will Hunting, one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. What's his name? Matt Damon and Ben Affleck did a phenomenal job writing this film. And this is probably still my favorite Robin Williams performance. Robin Williams, we miss you, buddy. You were a legend, man. Goodfellas. Oh, The Goonies, the all-time classic. Hey, you guys! What else can I say? It's a classic. It's one of my all-time favorites. Gran Torino. Get off my lawn. Gravity. The Great Outdoors, one of my all-time favorite comedies. The Green Hornet. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, I'm in the Green Hornet, man. Ho, ho, ho. My terrible, terrible Seth Rogen impression. The Green Mile. Great movie. Gremlins. Gremlins 2. Grumpy Old Man double feature. Guardians of the Galaxy, another one of my favorite Marvel movies. The quintessential movie to watch on Halloween. Halloween. Still to this day, probably my favorite horror movie. Halloween H2O, the only Halloween sequel that I actually like. Happy Gilmore. Harry Potter, one of my all-time favorite franchises. A film that I didn't watch when I was still living in New Jersey, guys, and then I moved down to Orlando to work at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and still to this day, I obviously have a memorable experience, on opening day when we opened up that park, but just that experience of working there got me to watching these movies, and surprisingly, it came out to be one of my favorite franchises. What else can I say, guys? It's a great franchise. I love watching. The Hateful Eight. Let's see, we got Heat, Hellboy 1, Hellboy 2, a cool-looking lenticular cover, Her, Home Alone 1 and 2. I'm right down here, you big horse's ass. Hook, one of my all-time favorites. I watch this movie, guys, at least twice a year, probably. The movie just still holds up this day. I don't know what else I can say about it. It's definitely one of my all-time favorites. I want the cookie. I want this. I want that. I want this. Now. Yeah, I better stop. That's a terrible impression. Hot Fuzz. I'll tell you what. I think once I get done with this whole collection video, I'm gonna probably put Hook in. I just love that movie. It's just one of my all-time favorites, and I love it still to this day. The next one up. Okay. Hugo. We got the Hunger Games movies. We got the first one, Catching Fire, which is my favorite of the franchise. Then we have the two Mockingjay movies, Part 1, Part 2. They're not great, but they're alright. I Am Number 4. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Identity. Inception, a terrific Christopher Nolan movie. The Incredible Hulk, with a cool-looking lenticular cover. It's very hard to find. The Intern. It Follows. Independence Day, one of the classic 90s action movies. The Indian in the Cupboard, a movie that I used to watch a lot as a kid. I'm sure a lot of you, the people that went to school with me, we read this book back in elementary school, and, well, I remember reading the book, but the movie doesn't really hold up as well as it used to. Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Insidious, Insomnia, Interstellar, Invincible, the Iron Man trilogy, the first one, my favorite of the bunch. 2, not great, but it's okay. Iron Man 3, The Island, The Italian Job, It's a Mad, Mad World, one of my all-time favorite comedies. This is my entire family. We grew up watching this. It's one of the oldest movies. Actually, this is not the oldest movie in my collection. Probably like my second or third oldest, but definitely a terrific comedy. I highly recommend if you guys haven't seen it. Jack Reacher. Farewell to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell to you ladies of Spain. Jaws. Awesome, awesome movie. You gotta love Jaws. We have Jeepers Creepers 1 and Jeepers Creepers 2. Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get them beepers? Where did you get those eyes? Jeff Dunham, Spark of Insanity. Jerry Maguire. Put the cookie down! Jingle All the Way. John Wick, awesome action movie. Joy, a movie that got a lot of crap too. A lot of people don't think this movie was not as great as what everyone was expecting it to be. But David O. Russell, directed movies like Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle, which are two terrific movies. This one's not as good as those two, but I still enjoy it. Jennifer Lawrence was incredible in that movie. The Judge, underrated, really good movie. I don't know why a lot of people don't own that movie. That is a terrific film. Jumanji, one of my all-time favorites there. That's a childhood favorite there. Jurassic Park collection. Obviously the first one, what can I say, it's one of the all-time classics. I remember watching that film with my mom and my younger brother, and it was just one of the greatest experiences I ever saw in the theater. The second one was kind of a letdown. The third one just plain sucked. Jurassic World, which was better than I expected it to be. Daniel-san! Karate Kid, one of my all-time favorites. I have the first one and the second one. The first one's the best. The second one's not as good as the first one, but it's still entertaining. Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2. You know what I find interesting about these movies is that I think this one is the better one, but this one's more entertaining. You guys feel that way? Okay. Kingpin, one of my favorite 90s comedies. Kingsman: The Secret Service, a fun movie. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Night and Day, not very good. Knocked Up, Oh, Krampus. Here's a surprise movie. I didn't think I was going to really like this, but the best part I love about this whole movie is the gingerbreads. Check this out sometime. You watch that movie. It is a fun movie. Oh, probably my all-time favorite guilty pleasure, Lake Placid. Terrible, but man, it is a lot of fun to watch. The Land Before Time, childhood favorite. Black's action hero. Lawless, good movie. Probably the most terrible movie franchise ever, Leprechaun. Maybe terrible horror franchise, I should say. But yeah, these are terrible movies, but I like the first one. It's the only one I like to watch. Leprechaun wants me gold. Liar Liar, classic Jim Carrey. The Lincoln Lawyer. Little Shop of Horrors. Lockout, not very good either. Lone Survivor, probably my favorite Mark Wahlberg movie. The Lord of the Rings Extended Editions. This is probably my favorite edition of my entire collection here. So glad to have this. It's very limited, but definitely awesome to have in my collection. The Lost Boys. Mad Max Fury Road, which, you know, it's getting a lot of hype. I mean, it is a very good movie. I mean, it's a spectacular movie as far as action and the cinematography, but, you know, I think it's getting a little over too hyped, I think. Maggie, Man of Steel, not great, but could have been a little bit better. The Mask, Soul, somebody stop me. The Matrix, one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time. Maverick, Max, not a great movie, but it was enjoyable. Mean Girls, you know, I had a friend that invited me over to watch this, and she's like, you gotta come over and check this. I'm like, I don't want to watch this chick flick movie. And she's like, no, you're really gonna like it. Just come over and watch it. So I was like, okay. And I really enjoyed it. It was surprisingly way better than I expected it to be. Meet the Parents, Men in Black, Mercury Rising, $1 Million Baby, probably my favorite Clint Eastwood directed movie of all time, and that movie made me cry. Not kidding, it really did. It was awesome, phenomenal movie to watch. The Mission Impossible trilogy, the first one, still my favorite. Second one, Third one, better than the second one for sure. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which is my favorite Mission Impossible movie. Rogue Nation is really good. Moneyball, great movie. I highly recommend you guys check that out. Great performances by Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill. The Monster Squad, childhood favorite I watched on Halloween. Mortal Kombat, Mrs. Doubtfire, The Mummy, My Cousin Vinny, another one of my favorite comedies of all time. Mystic River, National Lampoon's Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and Vegas Vacation. The Never Ending Story, another childhood favorite. Nightcrawler, probably my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal performance. No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan. I grew up loving watching wrestling as a kid. I had to own that. The Nutty Professor. Hercules. Oblivion. And finally, Ocean's 11. Alright guys, so that's it of part 2 of my entire Blu-ray collection. So I will see you guys in part 3, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in part 3.